Hello Libra, how are you? Welcome to your March readings for 2017. And first of all, I'm doing different format this month. I'm going to be doing 2 videos, one for love, one for general, instead of mixing them together. So if you want to do or want to see both, you'll have to watch both videos. The reason being is I really want to do more in-depth love readings for a lot of you. I think it'll be a little bit more helpful and give you a little bit more guidance, I think. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So Libra, this is going to be your love reading for March 2017, okay? Libra. Okay, here we go. Seven of Cups reversed. The first thing I got, the first thing that came to mind is the question, like, what happened? Like, seriously, what happened? I feel like something just did not pan out the way you thought it would or the way you thought it should. Your partner, I feel your partner coming out as these more masculine energies here, but male or female. So the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, but you're coming out Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords as well. And I feel as though maybe some of you got a little impatient. You may have been in a state of suspension where things weren't happening. It felt like nothing was going to come to fruition. It felt like this person, whatever, was never going to call you. Your partner was never going to do something they said they were going to do, or your relationship wasn't ever going to move to the next level. And you started to feel anxious and started to feel maybe like they didn't want you, or maybe like they, again, forgot about you or didn't care about what your feelings were, didn't care what your wants and your desires were. And so in an effort to kind of control, you decide, okay, well, I'm just going to try to forget, and I'm going to readjust my mindset and go my own path. But your connection to this person is quite intense. You love them, you care for them, they are important to you. And I'm getting this cold shoulder from them. I'm getting avoidance or like ignoring almost. Again, in your attempt to either forget about the way you felt, you decided to take on this Two of Wands energy and say, okay, I'm going to forge my own path. I'm going to find a new direction. I'm going to redefine my life in some way. I'm going to try something new. But at the base of all of this, and this desire to formulate a new direction, it's all coming from a place of confusion. So how can you forge a new path and find a new direction in your life? And I don't even mean like moving on from, if you're married, obviously you're not going to be getting a divorce, but you're just going to try to forget about their needs, or you're going to try to forget about them and give yourself some independence and give yourself some space, because obviously they need some space. But I kind of see that backfiring, and you give them space and so they take it, and then you desperately are like, no, wait, I didn't mean it. I didn't, I didn't want to push you away. I thought. There's a lot of like assuming going on and not truly understanding the basis of what it is they're going. This is so bizarre, because I pulled out in the Virgo spread as well this exact same fire energy in this exact same spot. So I don't know if that's connected in some way or not. I always try to keep all the signs completely separate, but sometimes they link together. But there is a fire energy here. It doesn't have to be a fire sign, because I'm also getting an earth sign as well. But someone that has a lot of drive and ambition and some success, but in their own way, they too are a little bit lost and confused, and in a little bit of a selfish space as well. And I think you take their selfishness as rejection. You take their focus on themselves. You take their focus on their own objectives as they don't like you, or they're not interested in you, or your needs are not important to them. And you've been kind of like waiting for them to change, or for things to change, or things to shift in some way, and it's like they're not. And so here you are, and you're trying to manipulate or cajole the situation with your hand up. I kind of see her as like a sorceress, like, kind of like in a Disney movie with the witches and their magic wands, kind of waving things around, trying to get things to readjust, or the cake to get made, or Cinderella to get dressed, or whatever. And obviously you can't do that. You can't manipulate people. I'm not calling you a manipulator. I think it's just out of confusion and out of desperation. And I think it's out of assumption. You assuming they're not interested. You assuming they don't like you. You assuming blah, 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 right? There is an essence of seeing things differently and having a little bit of an awakening as well. So this guy is coming out giving you attention, right? You to him, him to you. So I'm not going to say that they're completely disinterested or you've lost them in any way, shape, or form, because they're not. They're just going through something. They're dealing with a void that, for whatever reason, they're not sure how to fix. They themselves are also going through a period of transformation, just like you deciding, okay, I'm going to take this new path. Well, so are they. And also it is stemming from a place of confusion. Also it is stemming from a place of assumption. Maybe they are assuming you will just always be there. You are assuming, or they are assuming, that you will be reliable and be someone that they can trust to remain consistent in their life. Well, when you shun them, okay, or when you kind of like, okay, well, if you're not going to give to me, then I'm just going to go do my own thing, they might be hurt and confused by that. But I just want you to know that they will also remain consistent in your life, and that they too are not going anywhere. The two of you are connected. You have a presence in each other's lives. So even if you disconnect for a while, if it's someone that you're just kind of interested in and dating and maybe don't have anything real or substantial with, they will come around. They won't sway. What's the word? Stray. They won't stray. They might just be distanced for a while. I see such determined focus on them. I see that they are like the one for you. And if for some of you, like this is the one that you have decided you want in your life. You haven't worked out the kinks yet. There's logistical issues. There are miscommunications. There are, differences in direction. And maybe you're dealing with someone that has a very independent, free spirit. So do you. Swords and wands, they are the more free-spirited of the bunch, okay? And so you connect in that way, but it is also your disconnect. You understand the need for independence, you understand the need for freedom, but so do they. And so in your desire to be understanding, you just give each other too much space. And then you're like, well, wait, I don't want so much space. I like you. I want you in my life. I want you to be a part of my life. And there's this awakening, this seeing things differently, this new understanding. And I think that new understanding is that, yes, I want to at least try this relationship, or if you're married, I want this to work. I want to be on the same page. I don't like being so separate from you. It's a fine balance, and I think the two of you may be having difficulty finding that line as to how far can you go with an independent agent and how far do you need to go to as like together as a unit. You're still working out those kinks a little bit, and I think the scales are kind of going like this, right? It's like back and forth, and it just is going to take the right amount of communication and the right amount of working together and mutual understanding to find that balance, to get the scales to balance. Too much freedom is bad, too much togetherness is also bad. So how do we find what works for us? Okay, so let's pull more cards. So again, this is going to be all love. It's not going to be a general reading. It's going to be a continuance of this spread. And if you want to watch your general, whether career, finance, or family, or whatever, actually love can speak to family, but please watch the other video, okay? Let me go ahead and shuffle a few more times. Okay, well, we're getting another pentacle and another fire energy. So I don't know exactly who this person is. They're very different though. I mean, because I can even equate these two as being similar when you have the king in reverse and the knight. I mean, they are different and they do bring out different parts, but what, you coming out as the king and queen of swords, and them coming out as the king and queen of pentacles, and then in the opposite with the underlying tone of this fire. So you might be dealing with either a fire sign or an earth sign, or someone that has maybe a lot of qualities of both. Making it even that much more confusing, because to me fire and earth are very, very different. They get along and everything's fine, but they're different, and it can make it even that much more confusing. You coming out very consistently as the swords energy though. I feel like you are closing yourself off though. You know, I don't like this King of Swords. I don't like the energy that he brings to a reading, and I think it's just kind of the artwork. Sometimes I can see him as being like that old man that everyone has a really hard time with, like on the block, and he's really old and crotchety. But when you get to know him, you realize he just has had a really long and full life, and he's kind of earned he's kind of entitled, I guess you should say, to, you know, be a little bit grumpy. But it's so closed off and it's so guarded. He's wearing his armor. He has a sword across his chest. He's very defensive. And then here, the Queen of Swords, like kind of, you know, manipulative. And I mean, I love the Queen of Swords. Don't get me wrong. She's becoming one of my more favorite of the court cards, because she's one, she is very fair and she is very discriminating. She does have the ability to be kind, and she works hard, and she puts her mind to something, and when she really wants something, she'll go get it, and it's okay, you know. But I think right now you really are having a hard time with the free-spirited nature of your partner, or the free-spirited nature of the person that, you know, that you're attracted to. I'm kind of seeing their internal battle actually being their free spirit versus a need to be more secure. It's almost as though opposition happening within themselves, you know, your partner, this person. So King of Wands to me is likely a person that, again, any king is a little bit on the selfish side, or the egotistical side, but this selfishness and ego stems from a confusion and forced transformation. Okay, this king is transforming. He is, now I'm going to say this as a concept. Obviously, age is irrelevant here. It's almost like a midlife crisis. Okay, like they're longing for this young, youthful freedom that they once had, and it's like this magical idea when there was no responsibility and there was no, you know, where no one cared about anything, and now everyone's growing into adults, you know, and it's like they want this zest for life that they once had, but their you know, obligations that they have are requiring them to remain grounded, requiring them to be, you know, mothers and fathers and fiscally responsible, and, you know, to do adult things, which earth signs, not always, but, you know, in general, king and queen of earth, they tend to be better at than fire signs. And they're having this personality conflict within themselves, and it's driving you crazy, and you're pulling away because you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to understand it. You don't know what to do, what to say. I'm kind of feeling like you're walking on eggshells. Like I said, you're giving them too much space. And we have these two wands. Speak in harmony. The Four of Wands. The stability's not there. Really, really sensing actually that this Chariot applies to your partner, not you. The left versus right, up versus down, black versus white, stars versus the, you know, the sun. And they're confused, they're conflicted, they're in a selfish place right now because they just don't know where they are. They're feeling very lost. And they're feeling burdened by the responsibilities of life. I feel that they are clinging to some form of passion that they once had, but maybe they no longer have that, and they're going through a little bit of a mourning process because they don't have that passion anymore, that things have changed. Their own outlook on life is different now, and they don't know why. They don't understand it. That's why I'm saying it's like a midlife crisis where the meaning of life is changing, and the things that once brought them pleasure no longer do, and they're freaking out. I'm seeing a disconnection or a fear or I don't know, a lack of interest in love. And it can be, your efforts, you feel as though I don't know why this word manipulate keeps coming in my mind, but I don't mean manipulate in a bad, sneaky way. It's like you're trying to get a reaction from them. You're trying to get something from them, but it doesn't have to be sneaky and underhanded, right? Like you're just trying to stir something up to help validate your place in their life. And you yourself are like, oh, like I need something from you. I want something from you. And I feel like you're just not getting it. Like I say, you're feeling rejected. You're feeling left out. They're leaving you behind, but they're not. It just feels that way, and it's temporary. Please don't feel that this is like forever and ever, because it's not. You may remain a little disconnected. They may remain a little disconnected. I don't want you to be so understanding that they just have free reign to go do what they want, especially if your partner actually is going through a midlife crisis, maybe mid-40s or even mid-50s or whatever age they have them now. For some reason, I feel like it's like all the time. Obviously you don't want to just let them go have affairs and do all this stuff, but, allow them to work it out. They are very closed off, and it's hard to have a relationship with someone like this. When you are wearing your coat of arms, your armor, and they are like this, protecting their world, and that wand, they're hanging on to that wand, that single wand that this knight is holding on to and that this king is holding on to. And that is the adventure. It's the Ace of Wands, their sense of passion, their sense of lust for life, and they are clinging to that as though their life depends on it. They won't let that go, and it's selfish. It's theirs. It's almost as though they feel like that's the only thing they have left, right? But while they're understanding of the world is shifting in very big ways. I'm not really seeing a lot of major arcana in this reading, but I'm sensing an intensity here. Okay. And please, I'm kind of seeing this lack of focus here, or lack of, well, actually, let me redefine this. Hold on. Not lack of focus. Maybe I see you as being very dutiful and doing the things that you are supposed to be doing. Again, you are in each other's lives. Neither of you, you're not going anywhere. You're not abandoning anybody. They're not abandoning you. Both of you just need to put your head down and continue to do things the way they're supposed to be done. I'm not really feeling inspired by this card at all. Like, doing the things that need to be done in a relationship in order to maintain peace. That's one thing, Libra, you're very, very good at, and you know, you got some good street cred in terms of finding balance and needing balance and mediating problems and being a very stress-less, okay, like a lack of stress. You know, and you can feel overwhelmed and you can be stressed, but I think in general, you are the one that does not pressure others to do things normally. And you are the one that maintains peace. So while your partner is going through these ups and downs and these very confusing times that are throwing you way off, you know, and causing you to put up barriers and them to put up barriers, keep in mind that it will settle. You need to just keep doing things as expected, doing the things that you need, that your partner needs, you know, the basic mundane day-to-day life that keeps stability. Where there is a significant lack of stability here, you need to keep things as stable as possible. Otherwise, it could get a little bit out of control, okay? And like I say, there is a lack of stability here. So yes, that's it. I'm gonna leave you with that. Kind of a heavy reading, Libra. I hope that it speaks to you or provides some insights for you. I am doing dailies on Instagram if you want to check those out as well. And if you are interested in your career and finance, please check out the generals. All right? Thank you so much. Bye.